Well, good morning everybody from a rather overcast Quebec. Your commentators are Conrad, myself from South Africa, representing South Africa, living in Ireland, in the UK. And I've got my fellow commentator here who is Lewis from the UK.
Yes, good afternoon to everyone that's in Great Britain. Tuning in to watch this match, just to let you know the starting lineup for the GB boys: number 2, Alistair Hickey; number 3, Richard Adams; number 4, Lee Beard; number 5, Josh Greenall; number 6, Captain Carl Speed; number 7, Phil Thompson; number 8, Tomek Kwitlinski; number 9, Jetro McCarthy; number 12, Kai Waters; and number 13, Vincent Perron. Sitting out on the side, we have Andrew Stillwell and Hayden Pitchforth.
And in the water, we've got referees Robbie Kilpatrick, who's just called that one up for a stick infringement against GB, so South Africa having the advantage just inside the half of GB, swinging it wide to the outside.
Cut out well there by the South Africans, who start their drive. He's got the legs, he's in the 5, out to the 3, trying to switch it back around the back, but it's really well defended there by the GB boys.
It was a good breakaway, that. Unfortunately cited for stick infringement. That is Bruno from Argentina. The referee there, he called that up.
Trailing back there, Phil Thompson, just making sure, even though the guy got ahead of him, just to stay with him, not allow him to just turn that corner and be able to cut inside towards the goal, forcing him out towards the side.
Big flick up the middle. Excellent work and pick up by the pivot, who's the vice captain for South Africa. They're slowing down the game there by the looks of it, eh?
South Africa with this really nice drive.
Good work there by GB, number 5.
Yeah, that's Josh Greenall there. Just waiting into the centre, keeping good possession of the puck, just waiting for those GB bats to get back down to the bottom, but nobody coming in. South Africa regain possession in a dangerous area, into the 3-metre zone now. Ooh, looks like a bad stick tackle there. He's being pointed at by one of the referees, and this looks like it's going to have been a flick into the tray.
That's confirmed. Just waiting for the number there, number 4. That's Dirk Tromp. Big flick into the middle, and subsequently picked up by Dirk Tromp, who flicked it into the tin. Notice that the game was just slowed down a little bit there, you know, and just pulled into the middle. Interesting work there by the South Africans. They were under pressure first. Team GB doing exceptionally well to take the puck up.
Antoine, I don't think it's Conrad's mic, I just think it's Conrad's voice. It's not quite as projected as mine. I'm a bit louder, so. So we get underway once again. Great Britain trying to break out left. Here's Tomek as he goes wide left.
Referee's call. It's against Team GB. They've been pushed back 3 meters. South Africa have the advantage just on the inside of their half, on the 2-meter mark. Adjusted by the referee. Claims it was somewhere else.
Yeah, the puck's placed on the halfway line, pretty much on the centre spot, so Great Britain are going to be pushed into their own half now. Going left on the advantage puck towards the substitute side barrier. Great Britain not letting them progress any further forwards and trying to break down the wall themselves.
Okay, that's been called up by the referee. That's Robbie Kilpatrick there from Australia who's called that up for obstruction. South Africa obstructing the play, and they've been pushed back by 3 meters, so time for GB to recuperate and have the opportunity to come back at South Africa.
45-degree drive, flicked it out to the barrier side wall again.
That's well intercepted there by South Africa, picked that one up.
Bodies down for both teams, about 4 in the bottom for each team, as Great Britain now swimming off on the 45. Trying to bring it out into the middle, not seeing his teammate there. And now South Africa swimming it 45 degrees towards the centre of the pool. Sees the bats coming down in the middle. Flicks it out to one, and there's 2 now. This is going to be a leg race. Looks like Al Hickey's back there to defend for GB.
2 against 1, well defended. Okay, referees have seen something and they're just calling a referee timeout. That's Omar from Turkey who's called that one out. It's the referee from Turkey.
Yeah, it looks like it was Richard Adam there, not Al Hickey, who's coming down to make that tackle, and Omar probably discussing what he's seen with the other refs, trying to get a view on the angle of what happened, and this might be resulting in a penalty or a penalty goal for the South Africans here, I'm afraid to say, as a Great Britain commentator. So just taking the time, just trying to make sure that each referee says what they saw and how they felt. I think Robbie Kirkpatrick, the Australian referee, wearing the number 2, he's on the far side, and he's going to say what his angle of it was, because that might have been a bit of an obstructed view for Omar, but he's definitely seen something he's not completely happy with. And yeah, it's just
call for obstruction.
Yeah.
South Africa getting the advantage. That's actually very fortunate for South Africa. If you think about it, it was 1 against 3. There was no need really to go and cause the obstruction there. They would have handled that, I think.
No, I think it's the initial hit was by Richard Adams, spits it out to the Richard spits it out to the side, and it's a lovely bit of defending initially. And South Africa trying to get down the middle. GB down 1-3 around the player, and South Africa just trying to get it down there, and that's good defence. Is that being stopped with a glove there? As we look up, you can see referee Omar.
Referee calling for a penalty for gloving on the wall that the referee picked up.
Oh, that's surprising for me there. That from my angle and from what I could see, I'm looking at that and thinking, you know what, that's going to be a penalty goal, because it looked like the glove stopped it on the edge of the goal tray.
On the tray, exactly.
And when it's that close to the goal, if that glove's not there, then it's going to be pretty much a certain goal. Whereas if it's a bit further away down the wall, then yeah, you might be able to say penalty shot. But for me,
it certainly looked like that. However, they've got to make a call to say, was it a likely goal? You know, so it did look like that to me too.
I mean, yeah, definitely likely goal. As Phil Thompson's down to try and stop this one.
Number 11, Brent Boerslap for South Africa, scoring that goal. While South Africa, having already scored a goal, are now
just going to
two
cut to
up, so they've created a buffer for themselves. I think they will slow down their tempo even more. Team timeout called by Team GB.
Yeah, Pete Hodge there with the call. Just finding this time as they had a nice little bit of possession down at the other end.
That's right. So we're just focusing on the referees at the moment, so they just wanted to confirm that they're calling it right.
You're going to do my special timing shot.
South Africa just on the side,
Go left in front of the team.
having a chat. The guys relaxing in the sub box.
Yes.
They're looking quite relaxed there.
I love that shot. It's the best one. But you can only do it in one direction. Because otherwise the camera just goes whoop.
15 seconds left on the clock, so we're going to reset soon.
Nice to see Dave Knight getting in touch on the chat for this video. Dave Knight, part of the silver medal winning team that played in Stellenbosch 2 years ago. So he knows a lot of these guys in the GB Masters team. As we get underway once again, following the GB squad, as we get to the centre, they win the lead off. Firing the puck on a 90-degree lateral, straight out towards the right wall, but it's put back into the middle by the South Africans. And we've got a stoppage here as Lee Beard tried to win that back.
Stick infringement against South Africa, so they've been pushed back. There was a good tussle there by Team GB in the middle.
Daughter of Captain Carl there. Thank you for hashtagging that, Sophie. Captain Carl's daughter, Sophie Speed, joining in on the group chat. Yeah, hopefully he can do something to inspire his men here and just make the next step to getting back from this 2-goal deficit. These teams fairly evenly matched, just one fast breakaway swim, and that penalty being the goals that we've seen here. Great Britain having a bit more territory now.
I think the difference there being that the South Africans have just got 1 or 2 extra bodies down on the ground, which is helping their recovery.
Phil Thompson doing well to get out of that tackle there by the oncoming captain of South Africa, Dave Chapman.
That was a good defence work there. Well, the numbers are helping because Team GB seem to be bringing the numbers down there, and they're certainly playing that game in the center, and that's helping them.
Yeah, good drive by GB, spilling the puck to where the different players are.
Very close for a goal,
yeah, just being sent down the back wall now by the South Africans, looking to go, but referees have seen something.
Stick infringement against
South
Africa.
A couple of signals on the surface there as we see Robbie Kirkpatrick just check with the chief referee, and he knows it's the call by Omar Battle, one of the Battle brothers who do regular Ironman challenges. Crazy people. So it's a Great Britain advantage, but really dangerous position here.
And they're off. Team GB taking the puck.
Slow take.
Wide.
Yeah.
That looks like it's been intercepted.
Carl there, nice little idea trying to find Phil Thompson there as Richard Adams now down trying to keep the puck from going anywhere. Richard's done really well there just to neutralise that, and it gives GB time to reset. South Africa with the puck now trying to break off the wall. But he's cut out well there by Great Britain's Kai Waters. He sees the man in space on the far side. It's a 2-on-1 here. GB should be able to get this. It's a high flick. Looks like it's gone over by Jeff Rowe.
The glove that went in there?
No, I think it's that initial flick.
Yes, it was the glove.
Oh, they have, yeah. Oh, harsh call there by Bruno. And the referees are just going to have a chat about this.
Well, I certainly saw that. I picked that up through videos. This is where we need video assistant referee, so we can play it back quickly. Just a joke, by the way.
No, I think
they got it. They got it under control.
Yeah, Robbie's just checking there because it seemed to me that watching on the video, the initial flick by Jeffro, too big a flick, it bounces back out, and then as he's gone in, he has turned his stick.
Yeah.
He has turned his stick to try and get in. I don't know whether Bruno's in the best space to make that call because obviously the body is obstructing Bruno's vision as it goes in. So I thought that was a clean goal rather than. I can understand why it's anticipated as a gloving call.
I'm not too sure what the call was there. It's against Team GB. I don't know what the call was. Resetting on the 5-yard line for South Africa.
Yeah. Things happening. Try to stay on surface so that they can look at players' faces rather than underwater.
Okay, here we go. GB got the numbers down there. They're really taking time to reset. This is rather unusual. Flick taken. Well anticipated there by the GB boys.
That barrier flexing under the pressure there as both packs try and force the puck back in either direction. And it's Phil Thompson who emerges with the puck. Contact by the stick there, stick on stick there. As Phil Thompson couldn't get through, but no call by the referees. Advantage being played for South Africa.
Passed it on to Dirk Tromp, and he's gunning it away up the wall.
Yeah, you see Richard Adams just come down, put a defensive presence in. And it's Lee Beard who emerges with the puck. Good effort there by GB, staying composed under that pressure.
Trying to find support. No support. South Africa getting it under control.
Yeah, not enough bodies down here for GB.
Swinging it wide. Oh, that was a dangerous flick. That's in the puck.
That's interesting. What's is this going to?
I'm not too sure about that. If they were playing the advantage there, because I don't know if you saw that flick. That flick looked a little bit dangerous. It was on the up path and it hit the body.
And I think that's what Robbie's about to say. I think Robbie's just saying it's not a goal because that was a dangerous flick, but somebody's been playing an advantage, and we need to go back, award the advantage puck to
it would be
the
good
South
to
Africans.
See
but
what the chief ref is going to do about this, because he would have seen an advantage and called that.
Referee out the back there, Bruno from Argentina, just saying that no, I had a good view of that flick and it didn't look too dangerous.
Okay. It's the angle, isn't it?
There's South Africa now signalling for a team timeout.
I think both teams are going to welcome this at this stage of the game. Pete is going to have to motivate his team. He's got years of experience, Pete has, the coach for the Team GB. Great resolve, pick these boys up.
Great Britain just needing to really convert when they're in the final third for the South Africans in their defensive area. Just pushing them back all the way, but then the resolute defence from the South Africans just making it so Great Britain aren't able to get that momentum boost that one goal would surely give them.
Yeah, South Africa are quite adept at just swinging continuously and playing from one side to the centre. They don't really seem to like playing on the walls. So they're going to try and get off the walls as soon as possible. So I think if Team GB could counter that, they would just smash it into the walls and give them some stress to handle.
Underway once again. It's South Africa who win the lead off. They're going to try and stick it straight onto the wall. So the South Africans clearly wanting to take it out to the wall, and Great Britain electing to try and bring it off and play down the middle.
Yeah. Well, they'd be content to keep it there by the sub box so they can do some exchanges and get some fresh legs on it. There's South Africa bringing someone in from the sub box and getting the advantage on that. Well picked up there. That was good work. No support on the outside.
Sometimes GB just getting their heads up and not looking in front of them. Always looking for that extra pass and not looking in front of them to see like where they can swim it. So great that they're looking and they're able to swim with their head up, but sometimes just need to gun it and go and start that race towards the tray and put them South Africans under more pressure. Just when they got their heads up, look, it's just giving the South Africans that little bit more time to get back down onto the bottom.
That looked a little bit of an obstructed play there. Let's have a look what happens. It's an illegal stop. Advantage for Team GB. And they're in the South African half, so it's an opportunity to put some pressure against the South Africans.
Great Britain there just getting some fresh bodies in. Play on the far side near where the subs benches are. Drive, just weaving through a few bodies, trying to find the puck through, trying to just find those little pockets of space. South Africa just neutralising it and putting it straight back onto the wall.
Yeah, they're quite happy to put it there just to get, especially in front of their sub box. We know that kind of strategy just to get some fresh legs down.
GB trying to bring it off, succeeding, but stopped by the South Africans now, as they will now try and get down the pool. Ooh, that was a dangerous flick across the body. Unless it came up off a stick, because it did look like it was a really sharp rise.
There's no advantage being played, so they didn't pick that one up.
This drive, trying to go down the middle, and that's where South Africans are having least trouble. All their goals have come from sort of a more of a long range situation, other than the penalty, which was for gloving on the back wall. Need to try and find a better way than going through the centre of this GB defence when it's in the GB defensive third.
On the far side of the pool, Robbie has seen somebody not happy with that. I think it's an individual warning that's been given, or he just pointed at the person. But it looked like number 1, South Africa, that he pointed at, Darren Hanna, so he's just going to have to be careful about that.
Slow take again there by Captain Carl Speed. Finds Jeffro McCartney up front.
Good work.
Might not be Jeffro, that might be Vincent. Is he just trying to battle through? And this might likely be a free arm call. Nope, it's a foul for Great Britain. So
against number 11 there.
Yep, GB will be wanting this puck to be reset rather quickly because we've got just over 60 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, just over 60 seconds, that's right. South Africa getting numbers down there, managing the breakaway. I think it was Brent who actually committed the foul, so he's made sure that he fixed it up.
Yeah, that was a nice little change of direction there by the South Africans to cut back inside from the oncoming GB defender whose body angle was trying to force him onto the wall. GB need to now be careful, shut out this last 50 seconds without conceding another goal. 3 goals still, a chance to come back if you get the next goal, but for a much harder task.
Team GB did extremely well there to cut off that potential swing there, so that swing wasn't an option, which actually prevented South Africa from having a go at the goal. 30 seconds left of this half.
So that's neutralising the South African attack, and nothing silly here from Great Britain. They're probably just going to put it on the wall, give some time to just relieve the pressure, see it to half time, and then have another team chat with Pete Hodge before we start the second half. Yeah, just going down the wall side here, going into 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and that brings us to half time. Both teams not really contesting it as we go to the half time in this men's Masters match between South Africa 3, Great Britain 0.
And
just coming up on your page.
Triple figures here, game number 100. So competition is really hotting up now. So tomorrow we start with the play that really matters of who gets through. So everyone wants to prove their mettle here. South Africa is in a comfortable lead. They'll be content with what they've done. Lewis, have you been enjoying Quebec?
I've not seen too much of Quebec. We got out to the Old Town a couple of nights ago. I think Saturday night we went because it was a shorter day here at the pool. But yeah, it's all right so far. It's a nice swimming pool to be in for 12 hours a day.
Sorry,
can't really
Lewis
complain.
is a referee, so he's going to have to be here a lot longer than most of us, the players and the coaches. That you're right. Quebec is a pretty little city, isn't it? It's nice and clean.
This pool though, this is an absolutely fantastic pool. From day one, we've had beautiful water quality, and I think all the teams have enjoyed it. The pace on the bottom is something that a lot of teams are enjoying, especially the more skillful ones who like to move the puck around. We've seen that from the Great Britain teams earlier in the week, and we're seeing it here from the South Africans who are wanting that quick change of direction to try and continue their drives.
That's right. Well, thank you for your comments and your feedback. Certainly, it's a great pool to be in. The 3 meters does make a little bit of a difference. I think GB are used to it. They've got lots of facilities with the 3 meter pool where they can practice this kind of depth. It does change it a little bit from a 2 meter pool. The game does become slightly different. Obviously, you've got extra space, a lot more maneuverability, and the strategy can change subsequently because of also it's a 60 meter wide pool, isn't it? So the game is a little bit wider. Yeah, it's been fantastic playing in this. South Africans are not that used to it. I think they've got one facility where they can practice in the whole country that's 3 meters deep, so it costs a little bit of money for everyone to get down to Durban where they can practice at Durban Girls College where they have the access to a 3 meter pool.
So yes, 26 meter wide pool here. This is commonly for the water polo teams that we have that compete here at the Laval University. Obviously 50 meter length with adjustable booms for the full competitive swimmers that train here, but also 26 meters width is nice because it gives the you can put touch boards and things in for training when you're training over that 25 meter. We get underway once again as we follow the South Africans onto the strike. Looks like they're going to win it, and it's going to go left.
Dirk Trump winning it there. Emil Spies waiting behind him just to get it passed back. Doesn't go to South African, but they give it away to GB. GB controlling it, moving it up. Quite content to keep the puck in hand.
Yeah, play just moving to that far side once again. South Africans know what they've got to do, just defend like they have in the first half. It's been a very clean game. We've had, was it Alan Underwood somewhere back here explaining that, you know, it's nice to see not a lot of enforced breaks that the GB guys were taking against the Colombians. I think this is a more suited game for both teams. The puck's been moved a lot faster and there's a bit more space to swim in, and all the fouls are being equally contested.
Well controlled by a good pickup there.
Yeah, Richard Adams there with the control and release. As Captain Carl Speed trying to break down the middle, looking for his support. Great Britain just with the lesser numbers on the bottom, and we keep seeing
Jack who just controlled that puck there, just managed to flick it through. And
ones and twos.
Looks like it went in. Just want to confirm that. If we can go stop, the team ref being called out. The referees have called timeout.
So yeah, both of these teams, there's a bit of a foul count being accumulated, but referees just sort of saying both teams have got the best interest of playing the puck. And when you're trying to play the puck, it's obviously it's a fast-moving sport. They have a hit and then they're like, okay, missed it, and they allow play to go on through the advantages, and means there's less stoppages, and the game's decided by the players in the water rather than the players who are out on the side.
I've been watching a little bit from the top as well. There has been a little bit of advantage play by the referees, so they are seeing some stuff playing the advantage rule.
So it's trying to follow
like
where...
It looked like they'd hit the back tin and the wall volume, and it's been illegal advantage advancement of the puck. I suppose it was gloving by South Africa, so GB having a get out of jail free card here, so they can reset.
Lee Beard's down, ready to take the puck, Manchester player, with teammate from Manchester, Phil Thompson, outside him to the left. Chooses not to use Phil Thompson and spits it out to his left winger, who takes it onto the wall. And chance to swim down the centre. This is Lee Beard once again, using the legs that he didn't have on his Great Britain underwater hockey footage that we recorded and put on the Facebook page. So nice to see that he's starting to use his legs a bit more. Mags Gow quoting him as being lazy budgie.
Excellent flick to the outside there, picking up the player.
Yeah, that was a nice little drive that was put together there by Great Britain. Able to safely take it out to the wall and then move into the space in the middle.
Obstruction against South Africa.
Yeah, we're starting to see a few more of these calls that are being picked up. Chief referee Alexander from France watching over this game from the side. It's Carl Speed here with a flick out to the left, knocked down by the South Africans. Play still commencing through the middle as Great Britain flick it back through the gap, but the South Africans try and switch it round back, coming towards this camera.
Who loses the puck.
Yeah, nice there by Jos to stop it, but a poor release trying to get it through to Jeffro. Finds Jeffro, but puck played behind him, so no progression initially from Jeffro McCarthy there. As then you see Richard Adams trying to drive it into the corner. South Africans in the corner, and it's just going to be one-on-one. I'm staying down, and you're staying down. You're not going to go anywhere.
Is this a player number one here, or is he just waiting? No, he's waiting in the game. Man.
Number one there. He's a player. He's allowed to sit out of bounds, holding onto the barrier there, but not getting any advantage by because he's under no pressure and he's not on the puck.
It's gone out, so it's against South Africa, and they're playing that the puck went out, so the flick. These walls are actually quite high. I think they're about 40 centimeters. So that was, but these guys are used to flicking like that.
Yeah, I mean the
good jinx there.
We're used to a slightly higher barrier at the moment in Leeds, in Sheffield. In Leeds, Sheffield barrier probably about the same size, same materials, but a bit of an older system. As we see Jeffro just trying to battle it there.
Excellent work by Marius there.
Yeah, selling the dummy to Ali.
He's waiting for a player. He's having to pass it forward because he didn't have many options there. That Dirk was unfortunately already covered by 3 players.
Phil Thompson trying to flick it through Darren Hanna there, but
against South Africa, the call is for an illegal stop.
Yeah, I think just coming off the bottom of the glove rather than the bat there.
That's right.
From Daryl Hanna of South Africa, the number 1 who we've seen down this left side. So puck about 10 metres from the South African goal. Phil Thompson lines up over the puck, sending it out wide initially, trying to draw those South Africans in, as now we see Al Hickey cut inside. Nice way to find, looks like Kai Waters. Kai Waters driving down the middle.
Numbers that went off the puck, missed that one, and South Africa picking it up. Still going forward, they're driving forward, getting numbers down there. It's been called up by the referee. There was advantage being played, and it's been pointed to the referee was playing the advantage. It's Robbie Kilpatrick for and it was obstruction call against GB. So South Africa having the advantage. South Africa is calling a team timeout. I think they're just going to need a little bit of a rest. They've been put under pressure, and GB is doing exceptionally well coming up against South Africa and keeping them in their half.
Yeah, Pete Hodge is going to be really happy with his boys, the way they've been putting pressure on in the early stages of this second half. Just need to try and get that conversion to try and get the score to 3-1, and then have that mentality boost and make the South Africans just feel that little bit less secure.
So, what do you do when you're dealing with masters at this stage of the game and you're 3 down? If I was Pete, I would be saying, guys, let's play some hockey.
Well, I think
do what you know.
You've got a very experienced group of guys here. You've got people that
Absolutely.
do youth coaching. Phil Thompson and Richard Adams are the current Great Britain under-23 men's coaching staff, and Richard and Phil previously doing the under-19s last year in Tasmania and getting a silver medal with that squad. You've got Carl Speed, who's been helping out at the current GB sessions. So you've got a lot of very level-headed guys there, very composed guys. And that, I think, as a coach, if you're coaching masters, that gives you the opportunity to say, you know what, talk a bit differently. You know what you've got to do.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's such a tight-knit group of guys. They all know their duties, they know their responsibilities, and they know how to adjust to these situations.
Precisely. There's so illegal use of the free arm there by South Africa, been pushed back by 3 meters. South Africa having a tough time of capitalizing on that move and forward. Unforced errors preventing them from getting that advantage. Cut. Good swing by South Africa. Well picked up there.
Richard
by
Adams,
Richard.
whose initials on his trunk say RSA, so
That's interesting.
lots of
Don't confuse them.
yeah, RSA playing against RSA.
Yeah, that is confusing.
Oh, that was a nice little tackle, well timed by Leon van der Meer.
Nova. So I can understand that. That's Afrikaans. So it's not so easy to pronounce all these names. We're commentating on all these foreign names. You want to try that when you've got the South Americans, and it just doesn't work.
I don't do too bad with the Spanish. The French is a little bit harder.
Yeah, it
as we
is
see
tough.
South Africa on a nice drive.
They got numbers down there. They're right there.
Looks
Well
like it's
picked
been
up.
defended
That was
nicely.
excellent work.
This is Jos Greenhall of West Wickham just slowly taking it out. No rush as he spits it back into the danger zone on the 45.
He's waiting for plays. That's 2 against 1. He's done exceptionally well.
Yeah, that's
was
Vincent.
fantastic.
That's Vincent Perron there. He's been
Yeah.
joining me in the commentary area a lot. And that was a nice little swim out, really nicely timed. And Great Britain
Excellent
using
work.
great momentum. This is a lovely team drive. Needs to be spat in under the body,
Yeah,
on
there
the
was a
lateral.
player there.
Oh, and
Oh,
it's
he
just
missed
a
it.
little bit too far behind Budgie.
Sure.
Yeah, just a little bit too far behind him there. The right idea,
What
just
now?
a poor execution. And South Africa now have a chance to break away.
Yeah.
Really good end-to-end hockey, which is being allowed to flow
I
by
think-
the referees.
I think what happened there is that he kept it a little bit too long, and he should have passed it sooner, and then they would have had the breakaway. South Africa getting the breakaway goal there. That was an easy goal for number 9,
Emil Spaes. Pete Hodge saying he wants his first time out of the second half.
Pulled out.
So here we go, 7 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in the second half. Great Britain calling their timeout. We just see the South African guys who are really relieved that that's gone in after, they had that pressure. Great Britain swam it away, and it could have been if, lots of ifs and buts. But if that puck just goes on a 90-degree lateral rather than a backwards 45, you're looking at Great Britain probably scoring a beautiful team goal, similar to the team goal which was scored by the GB Elites a few days ago against the Netherlands. And I think the game, 7 minutes to go, 4-0 down, long way to go now for Great Britain if they want to try and get this match back. But Pete Hodge is going to be really impressed with the way that the guys have done in the second half so far, just shutting them down for the first 7 minutes of the game, controlling the tempo, playing a lot better hockey, being able to find the space. And again, just unlucky that they've not been able to convert so far in this game, Great Britain. It's been very good defence, so nothing to take away from the South Africans about how they've approached this game.
Well, there's a lot of experience. You're talking about experience in the GB camp. There's a huge amount of experience in the South African camp as well. So we've got a coach there for the under-19 South African teams as well, who's playing with this team. He went to Hobart. Good breakaway there and picking that up. Anticipated by South Africa, not controlling that. Team GB picking it up and pushing it back into the middle. Called by the referee, Robbie Kilpatrick, seeing something.
And we have the
South
first chuck out of the
African-
game.
That's Marius Branquino, who's been called to the sin bin for 1 minute for obstruction. So South Africa will be under slight pressure here with only having 5 people in the water.
So this is where GB will be looking to convert. Even though South Africa's down to 5, very tough bunch. The puck finds its way through and it's on the goal tray, not in yet, and then we've got the follow-up.
That was a good goal.
I think Amar's seen
That
something
was
that
a
he's
great
going to
work.
say no. Common theme of this game. I don't
It
think this
looked-
is going to
it
be a
looked
goal
like
for
a goal
GB.
to me, the first one looked like a goal because it seemed to bounce out, and then unless they'd hit a stick.
Yeah, but it's looking at that. A lot of these flicks in towards the tin have been pretty high, hitting the top of the tin. And hitting the top of the tin, not a goal. The whole
That's
puck
right.
must enter the goal volume, and it's referee's judgment at the end of the day. It depends on their position in the water to see
That's
how
right.
high it is up and things. So there's been an advantage being played. Robbie Kilpatrick signalling.
There was
an advantage
being
played.
played. Goal has been given, confirmed. It did look like a goal there. All right, that's great. GB getting 1 up. This will be proof of their half. They've been playing much better hockey, and it's worked for them.
Shots of Al Hickey there, who finished off that drive for GB.
I didn't get the number there of who was the goal scorer.
Yeah, they just awarded it as a goal, I think, because play had stopped for so long and they were talking, but
Yeah.
it seemed it was Al Hickey who had that final put in
Well,
at
they've
the
converted-
other
they've
side.
given it to Cole Speed.
Oh, they've given it Captain Carl.
Well, that's great. Good work, Captain.
South Africa now just trying to get back on top of things as they have a nice break down the middle. 5 minutes, 30 seconds left to go in this second half. We're going to see the hockey go from 6-on-5 to 6-on-6 as Marius Branquilo is about to get in. And we've got a stoppage in the play.
It's against GB, so advantage for South Africa about the halfway mark of the half of GB.
Marius not quite ready to get back in. Once this puck's touched, we'll have some 6-on-6 hockey for the last 5 minutes. And it's nice to see the referees just appropriately escalating the game for using those chuckouts and the different fouls that they're seeing.
Yeah, it's been a well-controlled game, I must say. The refereeing standard has been fantastic. It's good to see. That's what it should be at this stage.
Tomek
Good
just spending a
breakaway
little
there.
too long on the puck there, and he's robbed of possession.
Well, it's Marius who did that, and he's had a good rest, so he can stay down there for a while.
Drive off the GB goal tray, but straight down the middle to the oncoming South African, Darren Hanna. They're trying to just force it back into the 6
That
metre
was
area
good.
around the goal.
Well picked up there by Team GB. The advantage was played against Team GB for illegal advancement of the puck, so gloving for charge against them. Team GB have been put under pressure here. South Africa to have the advantage on the 5-yard line. Well, Brent losing that puck there, giving it to Jethro McCarthy, who takes it in, brought back by Marius Branquino into the mix. Still not quite picking it. Well anticipated there by. Excellent work, those numbers down on the ground, but kept them being hammered back in. Great work.
Good defence there by Great Britain. All the bodies down, just waiting, making sure the danger's clear before they pop up. And now heading underneath their subs bin. This will be a chance to get those fresh players in after some of the boys do some big stints. And we can see guys going into the subs bin and their replacements going straight down to the bottom, not taking an extra breath.
Okay.
Vincent Perron here hassling Darren Hanna there as they now try and break out to the side. And Vincent's still down, trying to win that puck back for his team. And Jos Greenall now just trying to get it, and it's Great Britain who keep possession. Good strength down in numbers there as we try and break through the middle.
I think this is where you can see those who have trained a little bit longer and those who haven't. So fitness is starting to show you for GB, and they're able to get numbers down on the ground, controlling that puck nicely and pushing it up the middle. Just picked up by South Africa to slow it down. Well defended.
Yeah, it's like
Good
watching a football team just set up on the edge of their area, as we've seen in the World Cup. Lots of teams just getting everybody back behind the ball and letting them take it from side to side as freely as they want, but not allowing them to get into the area and the scoring zones. That's what the South Africans have done really well throughout this game.
That was a little bit of a loose flick there, out to no man's land, picked up by GB. Good 45 work there off the center, towards the center, I mean.
Entering the 2-minute stop clock, it'll be good for morale with the Great Britain Masters team playing the Australians later on today. If they can just be ending the game positively, getting a couple of goals as we see the GB boys down and just hassling the South Africans here. And the South Africans rush defence as only one guy coming back down, and we have a stoppage here. I would think this is in favour of Great Britain.
So Mark been calling, that's correct.
Yeah, illegal use of the free arm. And this will surely be a guy out rather than a warning. Illegal use of the free arm is much more of a controlled one. No need for a referee timeout with 2-minute stop clock as he sends the guy out. And it's number 1, that's Daryl Hannah, who's been quite a big solid force in this South African defence throughout the game, mainly in the second half, coming along the left-hand wall in front of our cameras.
So Darren Hannah out for 1 minute. South Africa under pressure, 5 against 6, and they're off.
Flick forward and knocked down.
Picked up by South Africa. I think he was hampered there a little bit. Looked like he was pushed down to the ground.
Very hard to see in the melees.
Managing to consolidate that one, bring it out, and they've got a little bit of a breakaway here. South Africa breaking away, and this looks like it's going to be a goal.
No, seems like it's landed on the goal tray and it's swum away. Referee's not making a signal just yet.
It has been called up. No timeout required as we know.
And it's going to be really interesting to see what it is here, because it's Omar Battle who's out the back. Omar Battle is the Turkish referee with his mask up. He's out the back there. So it'll be interesting to see what's here, because Robbie Kirkpatrick's saying, no, it wasn't a goal.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that, as you get more experienced referees, you find the appropriation of what to do. Because Omar's out the back, so he's looking in at goal. And for him, it can look like he can hear it, but he doesn't see into the goal volume as clearly as those two referees on the side, Robbie Kirkpatrick and Bruno of Argentina.
And it didn't seem to go to the person who called advantage.
No, because I think that was hard to tell, but that should have just been allowed for GB to swim it out as we did off the goal tray.
There. It's been called up by the referee. Illegal advancing the puck there by South Africa, so they've been pushed back. Time for Team GB to be able to recuperate and get that puck wide to the wall.
So yeah, sometimes it's very hard as a referee because you want to call what you see, but sometimes, and this is one of the things that Matthew Nunn, who's been doing a lot of commentating, one of the best pieces of advice he gave me in the last year was think about your position in the water. What you see from your position, think about if you're in the best position to give that foul, and then trust in the other referees that if they're in a better position that they might have seen it.
Absolutely.
Because it can look completely different if you're behind a player.
So that we can confer with one another.
30 seconds to go as the South African captain there, Dave Chapman, just puts the puck into his defensive corner.
He's quite happy to keep it there.
Yeah, this game
has been controlled by, taken out by Team GB.
Good defences. There's the number 11 there for South Africa. Whoa. Brent Borslap tries to connect with his own player, but Great Britain just nearly getting it onto the goal tray there as Captain Carl Speed just watches the puck roll away from him. Richard Adams just trying to force it back in, but we're going to tick down in the final seconds here as the South African number 4, Dirk Tromp, holds it in the corner, and that's the game, folks. South Africa Men's Masters 4, Great Britain Men's Masters 1. A good game there with a lot of flowing hockey, a few dubious referee calls, but in all, the game was controlled really, really well. I'll be back later on this afternoon for the Great Britain games. We've got the elites playing, and then men playing first again. Can't remember who they're playing against. Great Britain's elite playing next in a couple of hours, and then that's going to be followed by the women's elite, and they're playing Spain, and I know that I'm definitely in for that Spanish game.
Don't stop it yet, eh?
Conrad is going to go, and he's going to do some South African interviews. I tried to get some of the GB boys to come across and have a chat yesterday after the win against Colombia, and none of them really wanting to vocalise, so I can't see them wanting to vocalise after this tough loss.
Lewis,
So
thank you very much for your time and your contribution. It's always great to have a referee sitting here giving the commentary on the side, knowing the rules and being able to put us into the perspective of the referees. They've been doing a great job. They've controlled the game very well. Thank you for your time. Thank you everybody for watching. Stay tuned for the interviews from the commentary deck. We'd say goodbye and God bless.